This month, I made over $1,664 in dividends from one single ETF. The most popular ETF from the YieldMax family, ULTY. That came from 4 weekly payouts, each over $400 every single week. ULTY has been getting a lot of media attention, mostly because of these big dividends and the high yield. And I want to show you guys the real numbers from my own portfolio so you can see what this attention's all about. And I'll show you exactly how much I invested, how much I'm getting each week, what I call my ULTY paychecks. We'll talk about the strategy, and I'll give you my honest thoughts on whether or not this income is really sustainable for the long term. So let's jump right into the numbers. So ULTY pays weekly dividends, and in August, I actually got 5 payments, not 4. Since ULTY pays every Friday, the nice thing about August is that it has 5 Fridays. And my actual total for August was $2,088. But because not every month has 5 Fridays, most have 4, I just want to treat this one like it was 4 paychecks, and we'll exclude that first one that came on August 1st. So on August 8th, I was paid $421. Next week, August 15th, another $423, so pretty consistent. Again, August 22nd, I got $420. And then most recently, August 29th, I got $399. So if you add all those up, it was $1,664 in dividends, passive income, just for August. That's the headline number, but let's put it into perspective. Because $1,664 sounds great, but the real question is, how much did I invest to get these dividends? I bought pretty much all of my ULTY in July, and I have about 4,200 shares right now. I got them at an average price of $636, so my total invested is about $26,700. So if you take the average of what I'm getting per week, I'm getting about $420. And if you divide that by how much I invested, the original $26,700, I'm averaging about 1.5% yield per week, which is crazy good. And it's also a cool number because I like to think if you had $100,000 invested in ULTY, you'd be getting $1,500 per week, which would be amazing. But the thing to remember is that ULTY's yield is not fixed. Payments can change week to week, and they depend on the option income strategy that YieldMax is using. So while this looks amazing for August, we can't assume it will always stay this high. But from what I've seen on their distributions in the past, I'm expecting their range to be about 8 to 10 cents per week. Now, I'm not going to say that this money is life-changing, but it is certainly life-enhancing. What is life-changing is that ULTY is paying high weekly income, which means you don't have to wait every quarter like you used to or every month to get your dividend paycheck. So for me, ULTY can be used to cover groceries, a night out with friends, the UFC pay-per-views, and some of those recurring smaller bills. And if this continues, I'll be on track to make around $21,000 this year just off one single ETF. For me, this means that ULTY is probably the best part of my income portfolio, but also raises the question, how safe and sustainable is this income? Because there definitely are risks. ULTY isn't magic money. The dividends come from selling options, and that strategy has risks. If the underlying stock moves against them, and if volatility dries up, or if the options premium shrink, these payouts could drop and ULTY will become less attractive to investors. There's also no guarantee that this yield sticks around forever. So while August was amazing, I'm not betting my whole portfolio on this one ETF. Compared to other YieldMax funds, ULTY is interesting because it's diversified across a bunch of high-profile, high-volatility stocks instead of just being tied to one, like TSLY, which is tied to Tesla, or MSTY, tied to MicroStrategy, or CONY, tied to Coinbase. But another ETF from the YieldMax family that I like is YieldMax. YieldMax is also like ULTY because it pays weekly, but their distribution rate is lower, I think around 55%. And it's also a fund of funds, which means that it holds other funds from YieldMax, like MSTY, like TSLY, or NVDY. It also has an equal weighting on each of those, so they don't favor one product over the other. So YieldMax isn't like overloading on MSTY and underweighting NVDY. It's all equal. YieldMax has also been less volatile than ULTY, so if you hate seeing your NAV price go down, then it's probably YieldMax over ULTY. And since its IPO, ULTY's price has been going down, which has made a lot of people worried. If that's something that you can't stomach, then definitely do not buy this fund. When I see ULTY's price go down, I just remind myself this is an income product, not a growth one. It's designed to throw off weekly paychecks. It's also recovered in the past. It was at a low of about $5.40, and when there was a rally, it got up to $6.40 in a pretty short time. And the last thing is, even though it has gone down a lot in price, you need to look at total return, which is the price movement plus your dividends. And in that aspect, ULTY is positive. I think it's up about 10% or so. So that's my video, guys. I really like ULTY for the weekly income. It's definitely not for everyone, and I'm not telling you to buy it, just sharing with you what my experience has been, as well as real numbers that I'm getting. If you want more of this content, I've got a lot more videos on the channel that talk about cover call ETFs, not just from YieldMax, but other fund providers as well. There are some interesting ones that pay good dividends, not as high as ULTY, but they also seem to be growing, things like QQQI or SPYI. Those are interesting. I've got videos on those. I've also got comparison of YieldMax products like ULTY versus Misty, and I did a video about all the YieldMax ETFs that pay a weekly dividend. So if that interests you, check it out on my channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, if you could leave a like on the video or comment, not asking for a tip, but leaving a like is your way of letting me know that you got some value out of this. And if you don't find it useful, you can just comment and tell me what I could have done better. So I'll try to incorporate that in the next video. Always open to your guys' feedback. All right, take care.